The cocktail I love to serve is called a Saratoga. Okay. And it's weird because this is, well, from New York, from Saratoga, New York. And it dates back to the 1870s. All right. And I love the story. So I'll tell you what's in it. It's basically rye whiskey, some sweet vermouth, some bitters, and then brandy, or cognac. All right. Because the cognac comes in and rounds everything out. It's beautiful. Right. Strong too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, woo.
Yeah.
I'm a whiskey girl, but that sounds like really strong.
Yeah, I like rye.
Basically, have you ever had a Manhattan?
Yeah.
It's basically a Manhattan with some cognac in it. That's it. And the cognac's a little sweeter, so it rounds it out. It's beautiful. Well, this cocktail, like I said, dates back to 1870, and it was created for this guy named John Morrissey. Okay. And John Morrissey, this is why I love this story. He was this big rough guy in New York, right? He was Irish American, born of Irish immigrants, whatever. And he worked on the docks in New York. And at that time, he was also the kingpin for the Downtowners, which was like a gang of New York. You remember that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and everything? Well, he was one of the leaders of those gangs. And they'd always have these fights and he'd always win. He was a great fighter, like this kind of fighting, with your dukes up.
Boxing.
There was one fight he got in New York where he rolled into a stove, some hot coals had come onto the ground, and he rolled over into it and his back got burnt and it was smoking, and they called him Old Smoke. That was his nickname. I mean, he was rough. So in the 1850s, he ended up going to San Francisco, like a lot of people did, for the gold rush, the 49ers, right? That's why they're called the 49ers. And instead of panning for gold and everything, he ended up gambling and boxing and made a fortune doing it. So he came back to New York, opened a bunch of gambling saloons throughout New York, rubbed elbows with all the rich people. And at one point, he ended up going up to Saratoga. This is where a lot of rich people would go to get away from the city and, take in the air and the waters, the spring waters. And he decided there needed to be a horse race. So he had this horse race during the Civil War. This was in the 1860s. And it was a huge success. Somehow he got the fastest horses during the Civil War, which is unheard of, to go up and race this race. Thousands of people showed up and all the rich people showed up, right? And that sprung an idea that they should start a jockey club and a horse track up there. And so John Morrissey, along with Keene and Vanderbilt and a lot of other interesting rich people who were really into horses, started this, right? Well, John Morrissey, opened up a gambling saloon right by the train station and served this cocktail, which I just love. The one thing, he didn't like women in his establishments, not even women of the night. And the fact that I get to bring this story and this drink back has him rolling in his grave, and I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.